Grenade by Alan Gratz, Part 1, pages 121 through 124. Ray. Kakazu Ridge. All right, boys, let's show them what the Marines can do, Big John yelled. Attack! Ray took a deep breath and climbed over the ledge of their foxhole. Stay low, don't punch up, and run like hell, he reminded himself. The running like hell was the easy part. Ray was so scared he ran like a locomotive was beating down on him. Big John did the same on one side of him, Gonzalez on the other. The hill above them was called Kakazu Ridge. For more than a month, the army had tried to take this one little hill from the Japanese, and every single time the Japanese had beaten them back. Now it was the Marines' turn. Ray, Big John, and Gonzalez stayed 5 paces apart and ran low as bullets began to foot into the mud and at their feet. A mortar blew up to the left of Ray, and just like that, Gonzalez was gone. Gonzalez! Ray couldn't stop, couldn't think about it. He kept running uphill, his heart thumping so hard he thought it would burst. He slipped and slid as he tried to get traction up the slope, hauling himself up on shredded tree stumps and saplings when he could. Bullets zipped, grenades boomed, and then suddenly Ray was at the top of the ridge. What they called the saddle, the gap in the ridge where 2 hills came together. Ray could see a small valley just beyond Kakazu and another, taller mountain range on the other side. The valley might once have been green and lush, but the naval bombardment had left it stumpy, blackened wasteland filled with giant craters. It was like looking down on the moon. Ray didn't have much more time to take in the scenery. He dropped flat and dragged Zimmer down beside him. Somehow the rookie had survived the charge. Big John had too. He flopped down next to Ray in the saddle as blue tracer fire from a Japanese machine gun skimmed the air right above them. A 4th Marine, a recruit so new Ray didn't even know his name, collapsed on the other side of Big John. Am I dead? Zimmer asked. Am I a ghost? You're not dead, Ray said. Not yet. But what do we do now, Sergeant? Nobody else had made the saddle with them. Big John didn't seem to hear him, and that's when Ray noticed he wasn't wearing his helmet anymore. He didn't have a right ear anymore either. Big John, your ear! Ray yelled. It was a bloody mess, but Big John didn't seem to notice until Ray pointed to it. Ray dug in his wed pack for bandages and wrapped Big John's head for him. Huh? Big John said, peering over the side of the ridge while Ray worked on him. I think I could see my house from here. I can't see a blessed thing, Zimmer said. He had his face in the mud and his arms around his head. They were mercifully safe here in the gap between the ridges, but the rest of the battalion was taking heavy fire trying to get all the way to the tops of Kakazu and Kakazu West. What do we do? Ray asked again, this time yelling loud enough that Big John could hear him. Big John lay on his back, hugging his big bar like a security blanket. I figure if we lay low here long enough, some of those Japs from the south slope are going to get it in their heads they can counterattack. That means they gotta come right through us. Turn around and get yourselves in position. Ray was already in position, but aiming at any attacking soldiers meant raising his head, and it sounded like the bullets were missing him by inches. It took every ounce of courage he had just to shift his face to the side, and he held his breath as he twisted his chin forward. Come on, Ray, he told himself. You're not going to die with your eyes closed. Ray let out his breath and opened his eyes. It wasn't much of a view, just more mud and coral and the little lip at the edge of the saddle that had kept them all from dying for the past 5 minutes. Beyond that, through the haze of smoke from mortar and artillery fire, Ray could see a sliver of the green mountains beyond. That was where the Japanese soldiers would come from, if they came at all. No sooner had Ray thought it than the mortars and grenades stopped falling. He tightened his grip on his rifle. If the IJA wasn't shooting anymore, that could only mean one thing. The Japanese were about to storm Kakazu Ridge themselves.